Vermillion will be up in Madison this year. The other time they'll be up here will be February 6th. That's a Saturday for the DAC-12 NEC Clash. So not playing the Lady Bulldogs again, but we'll be playing a team out of the NEC. But tonight, have to take care of business. This one is always a tough trip for the Vermillion Tangers, just because it is one of the longest trips, if not the longest trip, that the girls will go through all season long, making just over a 2-hour drive to take on the Lady Bulldogs. Myself will be making this trip not just once, but 4 different times. Twice for the DAC-12 NEC Clash, once later on in the season for the boys, and of course this trip here tonight. What do we have in stores? As I just mentioned, Vermillion girls coming in with another big come-from-behind victory against the Parkston Trojans on Friday night. Took the weekend off, had just 1 day of practice to get ready for the Lady Bulldogs. We'll talk more about the Lady Bulldogs coming up here in just a moment, but right now they are 3-3 on their season. They had a very extended break for Christmas. Their last game, in fact, was on December 19th. They didn't play again until January 2nd, which in that time, from January 2nd until now, this will just be their 3rd game in about 10 days. They are 2-0 during that time, beating Custer and Arlington, including that last game on the 5th against Arlington, 66-58. Otherwise, it has been an interesting season for the Lady Bulldogs. Very low scoring for their games. We go back to that Custer game. They won that one 34-23, and it was the 3rd time that Madison had just put up less than 40 points. The other 2 times, though, came in a loss, including one against Lennox here at home. And another interesting game we look at December 15th against Tri-Valley, where they lost 65-36. And as we know, Vermillion was able to beat Tri-Valley in overtime. That was just a week later on December 22nd, 61-53. So if that's any indication on how this game should go, well, then you would think that the Vermillion Tangers should win, but a lot can happen yet this evening. Like I said, we'll have plenty more to talk about the Lady Bulldogs. And coming up here on the Farm Bureau Financial Services Debbie Profrock pregame show, we'll catch up with head coach John Brooks and what he expects from this Lady Bulldogs team. That's all on the way as we get you set for just a single game tonight. Stick around. Plenty more coming up here on this pregame show here on ESPN 1015 AM 1570 and online at kvtk.com.
So what do you see in your future? Buying the perfect home with a big oak tree? Watching your child graduate from college? Or finding more time for hobbies during your retirement? Whatever your future holds, make sure you talk with the Farm Bureau Financial Services agent. Together, we'll create a plan that's right for you.
Call Farm Bureau agent Debbie Profrock in Vermillion at 605-624-3011.
It's your future. Let's protect it.
It's ESPN 1015 AM 1570 and online at kvtk.com as we get you set for Tanger High School basketball. The single game tonight for the Lady Tangers taking on the Lady Bulldogs from Madison. This is the Farm Bureau Financial Services Debbie Profrock pregame show. We're going to catch up with head coach John Brooks of the Vermillion Tangers here in just a moment. But right now, we turn our attention to the head coach of the Lady Bulldogs. That coach is Daniel Kenninger. And I was able to catch up with head coach Kenninger earlier today. We talked about the beginning of this season. So far, the Lady Bulldogs find themselves at 3-3 with a lot of senior leadership, but not a whole lot of starters compared to a year ago and what they're looking for when it comes to their offense and defense. Here she is. It's the head coach of the Madison Lady Bulldogs, Coach Kenninger. Coach, looking at this season so far, 3-3, and your team has a lot of different girls that can score, but more importantly, a lot of senior leadership that has grown these past few years to be seniors at this point. At that mark of 3-3, what's your takeaway through the first 6 games with your team?
It's definitely been a learning curve for all of our girls. Zoe Gary's the only girl that returned with a significant amount of playing time from last year. But those seniors, I have a great group of seniors and great senior leaders. They've really stepped up, and it makes a difference when they're out on the court and the presence that they bring to our court. And each game that has shown more and more important with the seniors out on the court and showing their leadership, and they've developed into their own type of players and really have focused on what they're going to bring defensively to the game.
4 of the 6 games this season, you have scored 40 points or less. How has that been a struggle with offense? But you have won one of those games included in there.
Yeah, we know that some nights we're just not going to score as much, and so we kind of have to focus on the defensive end, and that's kind of something that we know we have to bring the D and stop our opponents, and hopefully when we play aggressive D, we score more points. And I think, like we did that against Arlington, and we played good D against Garrettson, and that proved on the offensive end. So if you get stops on defense, it transforms into scoring on offense.
It definitely does. You mentioned that Garrettson game in there where you lost 57-70, but you see that the offense was there. And of course, Garrettson just a very talented team so far this season. You talk about the defense, and a lot of that comes with height with your team. How big of an aspect has that been so far? We rely on Abby Brooks on the defensive end a lot. She's 6'2". Plays great help defense, sees the court really well, takes away the inside game, but also takes away the drive, the penetration on the offensive end from our opponents. But then we also have, Zoe Gary's a 6-foot guard, and she rebounds well, plays good defense for us. Juliana Hodges maybe isn't as tall for us, but she's a bruiser in there, and she's really aggressive, and she does a great job on the defensive end for us. Well, talking about this game against Vermillion, before we get to the Tanagers, you've had kind of a week to prepare for Vermillion. What have you been doing in that week to get ready for Vermillion? Because I know it hasn't been all the Tanagers.
No, we're just trying to get back into running some of our offensive sets and some different options out of that, so we know some different options on offense, or transition, just to see different aspects to what we can do on our transition offense, and also, working on our press and our press break, because that's going to come into an option. I mean, that's going to come into a lot more games as the season goes on, that we're going to need to press. We're going to need to break a press, and then obviously focusing on Vermillion.
You talk about Vermillion and also bringing that press. That's something they can bring out their wrinkle with their defense and also with their offense. Has a very different kind of ability to score with many different weapons on their team. Besides Lexi Plitzwhite, who else is the main focus with this Vermillion offense?
Guard Casey Hansen has done a good job, and she's scrappy underneath. She's quick. She's not afraid to drive or shoot, along with Shandy Ludwig. She's not afraid to shoot the three. And then, they got some height in there with Herbster and Cleveland on the end side, and I know both of them aren't afraid to step on the perimeter and shoot either.
Yeah, definitely going to be something to watch for with that offense of how well Vermillion can shoot. You talk about this one being a scrappy game. It's going to be a close one, it being a DAC-12 opponent. How big of a win is it needed for your team tonight, Coach?
Any conference win we get is a big win. I think the DAC-12 is probably the toughest conference in the state, and I think every time these teams match up, you're happy to come out with a win, because none of them are going to be easy. It's always going to be a challenge. We have a very tough conference, and all these games are going to be a battle every night you step on the court, and each night you play in our conference, you're only going to get better.
That's head coach Daniel Kenninger of the Madison Lady Bulldogs. We take a quick break, and when we come back, it's the head coach of the Vermillion girls, John Brooks. This is the Farm Bureau Financial Services Debbie Profrock pregame show on ESPN 1015 AM 1570 and online at kvtk.com. We're back in just a moment.
So what do you see in your future? Buying the perfect home with a big oak tree? Watching your child graduate from college? Or finding more time for hobbies during your retirement? Whatever your future holds, make sure you talk with the Farm Bureau Financial Services agent. Together, we'll create a plan that's right for you.
Call Farm Bureau agent Debbie Profrock in Vermillion at 605-624-3011.
It's your future. Let's protect it.
Great to have you along on this wonderful Tuesday night as we get you set for another high school basketball matchup on ESPN 1015 AM 1570 and online at kvtk.com between the Vermillion Tanagers and the Madison Lady Bulldogs. Well, we just got done talking more about the Lady Bulldogs. Let's focus our attention now on the Vermillion Tanagers and have our usual conversation with head coach John Brooks, the team that right now continues to build on the success they are finding this season season, 5-2 right now. Only losses coming to Ponca out of the state of Nebraska, who has only lost once so far this season, and the T-Area Lady Titans. That was last Tuesday. And after a grind-out win against Parkston on Friday night, what was John Brooks' final takeaways from the game? Well, here he is to answer those questions and getting ready for Madison. Well, Coach, as you have that chance to look at film after the Parkston game, it was really one of the first times this season that your team has been tested to the point where you have basically been down the entire game until late in that fourth quarter, able to finally hit shots, able to get Parkston to foul trouble, make the come from behind, and get a 7-point victory. What did you see in the film that led to that point in the fourth quarter for you to make that comeback and get the win?
Yeah, it was really nice to see our group just hang in there, and that's kind of was our message throughout the game. We knew we were not shooting the ball very well. We had a lot of chances inside. We just missed some bunnies. We had a lot of really good looks that just were not going for us, and we just kind of kept saying every timeout break, every quarter break, hey, we just kept, hang in there. The shots are going to fall. We just need a couple to go down, and we'll break this thing loose a little bit, and it took a while, but finally in the fourth quarter, we got a couple to fall, and like we talked about. And from there, Lexi Plitzwhite hit the big one from the top of the key, and that one got us a lot of momentum. And it was really nice to be able to finish the way that we did.
We talk so much about this offense and how it's not, we don't want to say struggled, but there's comes to those points that they haven't always fallen. But on the opposite side, there's that defense. Only once have you allowed a team more than 70 points, and 4 out of those victories you've had so far, you've allowed teams less than 45 points. How big is that defense going to have to continue to be throughout this next stretch of the season?
Yeah, we put a big emphasis on it since day one of practice that we have to be able to defend. And our kids have really bought into that. We were a little nervous about it this year with playing as many young kids as we are. A lot of times those, you don't really see them until usually about their junior or senior year to really be able to buy in and defend the way we want them to. So, but we play a lot of kids, and, we needed all of them. We said there's a big team win against Parkston. We had a lot of girls down there all game pushing and battling in the paint against Yost and Oakley for Parkston. So, we feel like we have a good defensive group, and we can keep bodies fresh with playing as many kids that we do off the bench. And when our offense catches up, then we can be pretty good.
I know we've talked about it, but now we're getting to that point in this season, Coach, where we see a lot of coaches kind of solidify what they're going to go with their rotation of girls. But with your season so far, we've basically seen that same nucleus of 8 to 9 girls on the court, going to get a significant amount of playing time. Is that what you're going to ride with the rest of this season and feel comfortable with?
Yeah, I think we kind of have our kids that are in rotation, and that part hasn't changed now. Minutes and that stuff will obviously fluctuate, but I think a big part of being a kid that comes off the bench is just understanding that every game is different. Against T, Lily, Livy, those girls played a lot of minutes because T's guards were really good, and we needed to be able to guard the perimeter. Against Parkston, it was a little bit different. Z came in off the bench, and Brooke and those girls, because Brooke's been getting pretty consistent minutes, but we needed help inside. We needed our bigs inside to really battle the Yost girl and that stuff. So I think as those kids just keep buying into that, knowing that wherever we need help, that's where we need help. And we feel like we can compete with both styles, whether it's a team that has bigs or a team that has guards. We feel like we have the depth in order to do that.
Now hitting this next part of the season, it kind of comes to that ultimate test where we're going to start seeing your team play 2 games every single week. Are the girls ready for that? Do they understand what this portion of the stretch is about to happen?
Yeah, the older girls definitely know. We kind of always say, we're in the January grind. Here we go. Conference game after conference game just kind of pile up every single week. And if you're not ready to go, you're going to get beat. So we're going to have to lean on our older girls to really get us through this stretch. Our younger girls, a lot of them are going through it for the first time. So we'll see how they hold up. But as we already kind of talked about, that's the beauty of our team this year. We have kids off the bench that can and we have some older kids that we're playing off the bench that we can definitely rely on through this stretch. So we'll need everybody, but we're going to really find out who we are here over the next few weeks.
Well, the next test comes against Madison, a team that is 3-3 this year. They have a lot of familiar faces that you have gotten used to over the past few years looking at this team that have just kind of been growing up. And like I said, 3-3 probably doesn't indicate of how talented this team is, especially the Gary girl. What do you see from this Madison team that worries you?
Well, they play a lot of seniors. So one right there is, they're going to be fit. They're big, they're physical, they're strong, and they have kids with experience. Anytime you run into that, it's going to be a tough game. And then, like you just touched on, Zoe Gary, she's a really good scorer. 5'11", long, athletic, can shoot the three, gets to the hoop. She scores in a lot of different ways. And then they bring the Nelson girl off the bench, a 5'11" freshman that's got a ton of talent. So we're going to really have to get those two shut down. And going up to Madison on a Tuesday night is never easy. So we're going to have all hands on deck here to get the win.
Who comes in and has a big game for your team when it comes to the size aspect? We know, I guess actually even go off that a little bit more. How big does Leah have to be on the court when it comes to the defensive side and making sure she stays out of foul trouble?
Yeah, she was huge against Parkston. I thought she defended and rebounded really well in the second half. And I think she's going to gain some confidence from that game. So, they got Madison has the Brooks girl inside, 6'2", really good athlete, kind of a player that's a lot like Leah. So hopefully we can win that matchup, and then hopefully, our 8 to 9 kids throughout the course of the game just kind of wear them down.
Definitely going to be a tough match. Coach, what else does it take to get the win against the Lady Bulldogs?
I think a lot of it's just being ready to play. On a Tuesday night, like we said, those built-in little excuses can always be there of a long road trip and all those things. You got to get up there. You got to get yourself mentally ready. And I feel like if we're really locked in, that we should have a good chance to hopefully get out of there with a win.
That's John Brooks, the head coach of the Vermillion Tanagers. We take a quick break, and when we come back, we get you even closer to tip-off between the Lady Bulldogs and the Tanagers with the Farm Bureau Financial Services Debbie Profrock pregame show. I'm Heath Nimke. We're back in just a moment.
So what do you see in your future? Buying the perfect home with a big oak tree? Watching your child graduate from college? Or finding more time for hobbies during your retirement? Whatever your future holds, make sure you talk with the Farm Bureau Financial Services agent. Together, we'll create a plan that's right for you.
Call Farm Bureau agent Debbie Profrock in Vermillion at 605-624-3011.
It's your future. Let's protect it.
Back at Madison High School as we get you set for the one game this evening here on ESPN 101.5 AM 1570 and online at kvtk.com. This is the Farm Bureau Financial Services Debbie Profrock pregame show. Vermillion Tanagers and the Madison Lady Bulldogs. We've been talking about this big matchup again. Vermillion coming in at 5-2 on the season, whereas the Madison Lady Bulldogs sitting at 3-3 on the year. Having a kind of a conversation off air with what do we think about the Madison Lady Bulldogs? Where have they been so far this season? And a lot of it has been that kind of same conversation that we've talked about so far in our pregame show. Is the offense has struggled at points. They've looked good, but they've relied so much on their defense. If they want to get that win tonight against the Vermillion Tanagers, the offense really has to come alive for the Madison Lady Bulldogs. The Vermillion Tanagers on the opposite side, coming off of one of their more worst games of shooting when it comes to those first three quarters. We saw it against Parkston, a team that really had 5 main girls that they wanted to run against. They'd go maybe 1-2 deep into the bench. Didn't see that a whole lot against the Parkston Trojans, and Vermillion struggled in that aspect to get Parkston, their starters, off the court and kind of just pull that one away late in the fourth quarter, and that is what it took. We'll see if they can't kind of bounce back tonight here and see if they can't get the offense going a little bit more. Again, 50 points for the Vermillion Tanagers isn't a bad scoring aspect or a bad look at their game, but they would like to get a little bit more, and they can definitely get that offensive production from Lexi Plitzowite and the rest of the cast, including Casey Hansen, and look to have Chandler Cleveland, another starter, have a big game tonight for the Vermillion Tanagers. All right, coming up here in just a little bit on the Farm Bureau Financial Services Debbie Profrock pregame show, we're going to take a look at the starting lineups and the opening tip that is on the way next. But right now we pause for our national anthem here on ESPN 1015 AM 1570 and online at kvtk.com.
You've been listening to the Debbie Profrock Farm Bureau Financial Services pregame show. Tip-off is moments away. Let's head courtside. Here's the voice of the Vermillion Tanagers, Heath Nimke.
We're about ready for tip-off between the Vermillion Tanagers and the Madison Lady Bulldogs as that wraps up the Farm Bureau Financial Services Debbie Profrock pregame show here on ESPN 1015 AM 1570 and online at kvtk.com. I'm Heath Nimke. Big thanks to Suki Ford, who has made the trip up to Madison with us, providing the video stream with Fuller Digital Solutions. We'll be up here one of 4 different times, twice for the Vermillion girls and twice for the Vermillion boys in this kind of split matchup that they only play one game with the boys and girls, and also the DAC 12 NEC Clash with back-to-back weekends at the end of January and heading into February. Like I said, make this trip 4 different times, and it's always nice to make this trip up to Madison. Such a beautiful facility, and of course, just always enjoy the time that Madison is able to provide everything that they have at their disposal. And when it does come to that DAC 12 NEC Clash, of course, we won't know that when games are going to happen until much later in the season, about a couple weeks away until we find out those pairings. It all comes
down to how well you are doing in your conference play. Then you get compared with the other teams in that conference, and you go up against the best of the best, 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2, and that is how they do it. All right, let's take a look at the starting lineups for both the Vermillion Tanagers and the Madison Lady Bulldogs. First up for the Madison Lady Bulldogs, it'll be number 24, Abby Brooks, the 6'2 senior center. Number 30, Emmy Clark, the 5'6 senior guard. Number 32, Sophia Vandenbosch, the 5'9 senior guard. Number 33, Zoe Gary, the 5'11 sophomore forward. And number 34, Juliana Hodges, the 5'8 senior forward. For the Vermillion Tanagers, it's the same starting five they've had the last 4 games now. Number 1, Casey Hansen, the 5'8 8th grader. Number 5, Shandy Ludwig, the 5'3 senior guard. Number 15, Leah Herbster, the 6' sophomore center. Number 20, Lexi Plitzowite, the 5'9 junior guard. And number 25, Chandler Cleveland, the 5'9 freshman forward. The Madison Lady Bulldogs in their all-white uniforms, home uniforms, with the numbers and letters that are in maroon. Vermillion in their traditional away uniforms, everything in red besides the numbers and letters that are in white with the white shoulder pads as well. Leah Herbster steps into the Madison Bulldog logo, as well as Abby Brooks makes her way in. We're getting set for tip-off just slightly ahead of schedule, but that's all right with this long plus 2 hours of a road trip for the Vermillion Tanagers. The officials look over to each side. Everyone points the fingers. We get the thumbs up, and we are ready as both girls are in the center circle. Ball in the air, and it's won by Leah Herbster and the Vermillion Tanagers, and we are underway as Lexi Plitzowite will bring it into the front court, attacking the basket on our left side. The Tanagers moving from right to left. Chandler Cleveland now has it top of the key. She'll square up, shoot the 3 off the heel, and rebounded by the Madison Lady Bulldogs. Sophia Vandenbosch will bring it to the front court for the first time. A high pass over to Gary, now working it down to Hodges, and it's going to be a jump ball, Abby Brooks, between Chandler Cleveland and Abby Brooks right next to the hoop. Jump ball will stay Madison's ball along the baseline. They'll have it 26 seconds on the shot clock. Trying to get it to Gary. Plitzowite is all over her, making sure she can't get anywhere. They're going to chuck it deep this time to Emmy Clark. Clark has it at the free throw line. Continues to drive. Now kick it back out over to Gary. Shandy Ludwig draws a tough defense. Now work it back in the lane, but this one is going to be an intercepted pass by Shandy Ludwig, and she goes quickly. Now loses her own dribble. Has to turn around, find the basketball. Able to do so. Work it to Casey Hansen on the far side. Now back out to Ludwig, over to Leah Herbster, who just squares up, going to hand it to Plitzowite. Plitzowite thought about shooting the 3, now works it back over to Casey Hansen, near wing. She shoots the 3, knocks it down. Casey Hansen, the first points of the ball game, and Vermillion leads it 3-0. We're 60 seconds in. It's Zoe Gary in the backcourt. Get it up to Emmy Clark. Now quickly underneath the hoop, wide open. Too strong, though, is Juliana Hodges, and it's rebounded by the Vermillion Tanagers. She should have had an easy 2 there, not able to take advantage of it, wide open. Now up to Casey Hansen, where she just hit the 3. Back to the top of the key. They work it with Chandler Cleveland to Plitzowite on the drive. Back out to Herbster at the elbow. Now Hansen Ludwig, she'll shoot the 3 off the heel of the hoop again, and it's Madison Lady Bulldogs, 2 battling it for the rebound. It'll come down with Vandenbosch. Vandenbosch, a right-handed dribble into the front court, quickly double team. Now gets the pass off to Gary. Gary to the elbow. Now tries to make a tough pass to nobody. A foul is going to be called, and it'll be the first foul on the Vermillion Tanagers. It will go against Leah Herbster, who picks up her first personal. 3-0, 6:17 first quarter. And it was a shooting foul, so we'll send Zoe Gary to the free throw line to shoot a pair. First one is knocked down. It's the first points for the Madison Lady Bulldogs. Gary averages just over 15 points a game. Second free throw knocked down as she makes them both. Just a sophomore, going to be exciting to continue to see her grow. She's kind of like a Lexi Plitzowite for the Vermillion Tanagers. Speaking of Plitzowite, she has it right now. She brings it in the front court, gets 2 different screens, goes the elbow, decides not to shoot it, and passes it over to Ludwig. Back to Chandler Cleveland to Plitzowite at the top of the key. Now she's going to drive. She draws 3 different Lady Bulldogs, tries to make a tough pass, but it's going to be knocked out of her hand, and loose basketball picked up by the team in white. Here they come, the Bulldogs, trying to get it across the timeline. Now up to Emmy Clark along the far sidelines, over into the far corner. They work it with Hodges. Back to the top, the Bulldogs. They want to get it to Gary. They say not work it to her this time. And now with Vandenbosch, she tries to force a pass, and this one's going to be knocked away. Loose basketball is picked up by Ludwig. Trying to fight back for it is Hodges, and she's going to pick up the foul. First personal on her, first team foul. 5:39 first quarter. Vermillion with a 1-point lead, 3-2. as it's Ludwig who carries it across the Bulldog logo. Now over to Leah Herbster. Back to Ludwig. She thought about shooting the three, decides not to. Over to Cleveland, working it down into the paint, but it's going to be deflected away. Couple girls get tripped up. Plitzowhite was on the ground. Gary trips over her, and a foul is called as the official right there is going to make the call on Lexi Plitzowhite. Plitzowhite picks up her first personal in the second team foul. 3-2, 5:22 as a couple substitutions come in, as it will be Emmy Clark who comes out for the Madison Lady Bulldogs. Audrey Nelson will check in for the first time this evening. Speaking of, she still has it in the backcourt, trying to force a pass, but it's going to be tipped and falling into the hands of Plitzowhite, and she's easily able to lay it off the glass for her first 2 points of the evening, and it's back to a 3-point lead for the Tanagers. 5-2, 5:03 first quarter. Quickly, Nelson underneath to Brooke, and this one is going to be off the glass, and Abby Brooks sends it home for the Madison Bulldogs, 5-4. Into the front court now goes Plitzowhite, over to Ludwig, back out to Casey Hansen. Madison has not had the lead yet this evening. It's Plitzowhite back to the top to Leah Herbster. She's going to hand it off to Hansen, wide open. Hansen will shoot another three. Banks not open this time, and rebounded by the Lady Bulldogs. Nelson with the right-handed dribble. Right across the 10-second line, a high pass. It slips through the fingertips of Gary and goes out of bounds. It's a quick turnover for Madison. You can see how much they want to work it to Gary, but this time just a simple mistake. 4:23 first quarter. Plitzowhite into the front court. Now over to Hansen. Hansen just holds on to it, letting the offense work and set up. Now over to Leah Herbster. Down to Casey Hansen, low block. She throws it tough off the glass and gets it to fall. Casey Hansen, 5 points in this first quarter for Vermillion, and it's back to a 3-point lead. Again, Vermillion has never had bigger than a 3-point lead. Madison has never had the lead. They have it right now with Vanden Bosch along the baseline. Back out to Gary. She quick three, knocks it down. Zoe Gary saw a quick look, decided to take it. She has 5 points, and we're tied 7-7. Quickly, Plitzowhite in the lane. Last second bounce pass to Leah Herbster. She goes up, it's too strong, and rebounded by Abby Brooks. Now hands it to Nelson, still in the backcourt, as they finally get it across the Bulldog logo. Up into the corner, back out. They work it to the top of the key with Vanden Bosch. Vanden Bosch gets a screen from Gary, but then loose basketball as it's lost by Vanden Bosch, still on the ground, just tossed up in the air, and finally it's going to be picked up by Shandy Ludwig, and here come the Tanagers trying to take back their lead. It's Casey Hansen into the lane, now bounce pass to Leah Herbster. Herbster goes up through the contact, can't get the shot to fall, but she'll head to the free throw line to shoot a pair. The foul comes against Abby Brooks, her first personal, and the second team foul. Again, Leah Herbster will shoot a pair. We're trying to take back the lead for the Vermillion Tanagers. First one is off the back iron and off the mark. Emmy Clark will come back in for Madison Lady Bulldogs. Vanden Bosch will come out. And now we're going to get a timeout from head coach Danielle Kenninger, and we'll take the Culligan water break with her. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Tanager Basketball on ESPN.
Clay County Abstract and Title Company has a complex job that boils down to something very simple: helping you purchase your dream with confidence. When investing in a new home, a new site for your business, or piece of property, you want peace of mind that the property is truly yours. Clay County Abstract and Title Company has been doing just that since 1946. Clay County Abstract and Title Company, proud supporters of Vermillion activities and proud to be a part of your dreams come true.
Leah Herbster at the free throw line. See if she can't knock down the second free throw. Missed the first one, Vermillion so far this evening, shooting 3 of 7 from the field. Madison 2 of 3. Second free throw for Leah Herbster, misses everything. And of course they will stop it, since it did, counts as a missed free throw. So Leah Herbster goes 0 of 2 from the free throw line. And we remain tied 7-7, 3:14 first quarter. It'll be the Madison Lady Bulldogs who have it on the offensive possession, getting across the timeline with Emmy Clark. Up to Brooks now, back out to Zoe Gary, who's going to set up the offense. Hand it off to Nelson, who has it almost poked away by Brooke Jensen, who checked in at the last break. Now back out to Gary. Another 3 from her off the mark, and it's going to be a foul on the rebound. A foul on the rebound that will go against the Vermillion Tanagers. The foul called on Casey Hansen as she picks up her first personal and the third team foul. Gary will have it along the baseline underneath the hoop. Get it in quickly to Nelson. Nelson holding it above her head, chucking it back deep to Gary. Plitzowite all over Gary now. Plitzowite just kind of run around everywhere. Back to Gary underneath the baseline. Back out to the corner with Emmy Clark. Now Clark will pull up the jumper off the mark. Another offensive rebound, and quickly back up goes Abby Brooks, and she has 4 points in the ball game. It's the first lead for the Madison Lady Bulldogs, 9-7, 2:31 first quarter. A quick three the opposite way from Jensen. She knocks it down. First bench points for either team. And Vermillion back with a 1-point lead, 10-9. Now pass is going to be knocked away in the backcourt. Vermillion has it. It's Jensen at the low block. She misses, but it's going to be an offensive rebound by Alexi Plitzowite. And then a foul called as Plitzowite trying to fight her way through contact. The foul will be on Emmy Clark. Clark will pick up her first personal, the third team foul, and a few more substitutions for either team. Van Bosch is back on as Hodges checks out. Mulheron, Johnson, and Regneris all check in. So Plitzwhite the only starter. Now quickly into Jensen. She travels as she puts up her shot. And she did get the knockdown, but it won't count. 10-9, 2:13 first quarter. Vermillion playing a full court press now. Nelson still in the backcourt trying to make a pass. We'll get it over to Van Bosch along the near sideline. Van Bosch going to drive all the way and put the floater. Can't get the fall, but another offensive rebound. And back up goes Abby Brooks. She leads all scorers with 6 points. And it's back to a 1-point lead, 11-10. Plitzowite quickly the opposite way. Back out to Lily Johnson. Pump fakes the three. Decides not to take it. Now they work it around back to the top of the key. Back out to Lily Johnson. Over to Plitzowite. Guarded closely by Gary. Back to the top, Mulheron. Wide open three. She knocks it down. Kenzie Mulheron wide open and knocks down a big three. It's back to a 2-point lead for the Vermillion Tanagers. 13-11, 90 seconds remaining. First quarter. It's Nelson on the corner. Now drive baseline. Put up a heave of a shot. Knocks down Mulheron. And a foul is called as it will send Nelson to the free throw line. And Mulheron has to peel herself off the hardwood. She gets up slowly, but does get back up. As again, the foul does come against Mulheron, picking up her first personal, the fourth team foul, and sending Audrey Nelson to the free throw line, looking for the Madison Lady Bulldogs to get their first bench points. First free throw is knocked down, as I say it. So 13-12, 1:26 first quarter. Nelson trying to make them both, and she's able to do so. And we're tied once again, 13-13. Plitzowite will carry it across the Bulldog logo. Kick it quickly over to Lily Jensen. Looking for, that's Johnson. Now to Mulheron and back over to Plitzowite on the near wing. Plitzowite drives underneath the hoop. Back out to a wide open Regner. She'll shoot the three. Back iron. Offensive rebound, though, by Lily Johnson. And then she has it ripped away from her. But a foul called on Nelson. Nelson picking up her first personal and the fourth team foul. Both teams at 4 team fouls, 13 points, 1:06 first quarter. That's how closely contested this one has been. It's never been bigger than a 3-point lead for Vermillion, never bigger than a 2-point lead for the Madison Lady Bulldogs. We wait for our final substitutions. Conversation continues to be had with the near official and head coach Danielle Kenninger. Now, Danielle is just sitting down, still talking to the official. And now the official that was talking to Coach Kenninger will head over to the scorer's table to look at the table, look at the stat book, and we get everything cleared up. I think she disagrees with a foul call, and now officials, all three are going to get together at the elbow. And again, looked at the scorer's book and trying to get everything figured out. Again, it's going to be a correction here. After all that, Kenninger is going to, it's going to be a technical is what is going to be called. So a technical that's going to go against Nelson, and Plitzowite will shoot a pair. So Lexi Plitzowite knocks down the first one, 3 points for her in the ball game. And it is the 15th foul on the Madison Lady Bulldogs. Second one upcoming, and this one is going to be good. So Lexi Plitzowite, 4 points in the ball game. Casey Hansen, the leading scorer for the Vermillion Tanagers. It's 15-13, and after the technical, it will be Vermillion getting the basketball back with 1:06 here in the first quarter. So here we go, back into action, as it'll be Vermillion who has it with Mulherron. Mulherron at the free throw line extended. Back out to Plitzowite, over to Jensen, over to Lily Johnson in the far corner. Holding above her head, guarded closely by Emmy Clark. A battle for it as Emmy Clark, trying to get it back, punches it out of bounds. And it will stay with Vermillion along the baseline, 21 seconds. So they're going to call, I believe, an illegal substitution. That is what gave Vermillion the 2 free throws on it. Again, Plitzowite was able to knock him down both, and this offense possession afterwards goes dry after the missed shot off the front of the iron. 15-13, Vermillion with that 2-point lead after the illegal substitution. Madison Bulldogs work it around the top of the key, back over to the far corner now with Hodges. Work it down to Vandenbosch at the low block, trying to get a reverse. It's not going to fall, but reaching in there to knock it away was Mulherron. She draws contact and will pick up now her second personal and the 5th team foul. So again, both teams with 5 team fouls in this first quarter, and we have just under 27 seconds remaining. First free throw hits the back iron and off the mark for Vandenbosch, who's still looking for her first points of the evening. Casey Hansen is going to come back in, and Mulherron will now come out. We'll wait the second free throw. Vandenbosch, toe in the line, puts it up, and this one off the mark, and it's going to be rebounded by Lexi Plitzowite. 15-13, 20 seconds. Plitzowite can, of course, hold for the last second shot. Finally gets it across the timeline and goes over to that far corner, not working too closely. Now gets a screen from Jensen, trying to make a pass over to Casey Hansen, but Vandenbosch puts up the tall arm and knocks it out of bounds. It will stay with Vermillion. 9 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Johnson will get it into Plitzowite. 7 seconds. Plitzowite guarded closely by Gary. Plitzowite drives in, heaves one up. It's going to be off the mark, and with 2 seconds, it's going to be no shot that gets off by the Lady Bulldogs, and that's the end of the first quarter. Vermillion leads it over Madison. It's 15-13. We're back in 60 seconds as you're listening to Vermillion Basketball presented by First Dakota National Bank on ESPN 1015 AM 1570 and online kvtk.com.
If you're considering a new roof, you want to put your roof in the hands of Dave's Roofing. Dave's Roofing specializes in residential roofing and has over 10 years of experience. Dave's Roofing covers any job from a 60 to 80 mile radius of Sioux City and has a 10-man crew that completes most jobs in one day. Dave's Roofing will make sure the cleanup job is done right afterwards too. And the products installed are impact rated and eligible for homeowners insurance discounts. Look up Dave's Roofing on Facebook and check out the work that's been done and customer testimonials.
Molson is the name you have come to trust in the Vermillion area. If you are looking for a...
So we're buying a bigger home.
A 4-bedroom, but, with room to grow.
Your ocular cavity is malfunctioning.
Because we want kids.
Calculating offspring life insurance.
No, wait. We only have a cat.
Calculating farm insurance.
Is there somebody else who can help us?
Only a human who knows you can create a plan that's right for you. That's why for 80 years we've built relationships first and plans second. It's your future. Let's protect it.
Contact Farm Bureau Agent Debbie Profrock in Vermillion at 605-624-3011.
Big thanks to Andy Matson back in the studio. Suki Ford providing the video stream tonight with Fuller Digital Solutions. I'm Heath Nimke. It's 15-13. Vermillion with a 2-point lead as they have the basketball to begin the second quarter. Again, moving from right to left as you see it. Shandy Ludwig has at the top of the key, trying to make a pass. It's going to be deflected away. Chasing after it is Leah Herbster along with Gary, and Vermillion is able to get it back. But again, the shot clock did not reset there, so 17 seconds as Vermillion gets back into the front court, and now we're going to get a whistle over in the corner. Over in the corner, completely away from the hoop. And I believe it was a quick discussion on, did Madison actually ever have possession to reset the shot clock? Again, they did not, so it's at 11 seconds. And now Plitzowite drives, and as she does so, a foul called. This one will go against Audrey Nelson, picking up now her second personal in the 6th team foul. before Plitzuweit got a shot, so Vermillion will have it with a fresh shot clock, more importantly, as they had just 10 seconds remaining. Hansen will get it into Plitzuweit. Now over to Leah Herbster. Back to Hansen, who leads all Vermillion scores with 5 points. Back out to Chandler Cleveland, over Plitzuweit to Hansen in the near corner. She's going to drive along the baseline, get cut off by 2 different Lady Bulldogs, and Vermillion will have to work it back out. It's Plitzuweit who's going to have it poked away from her and go out of bounds. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Vermillion has had it the full 45 seconds of this second quarter and have yet to put up a shot. Plitzuweit kicks it deep to Ludwig. She'll just square up, shoot the 3, front iron off the mark, but an offensive rebound by Plitzuweit. She's looking to go back up, right back out to Hansen. Jumper from the free throw line, back iron off the mark. Loose basketball finally picked up by Gary and the Lady Bulldogs. And with 57 seconds gone in this first quarter, finally the Bulldogs will come into the front court for their first offensive possession. Nelson lays down a screen for Vandenbosch, who works it to the corner, now inside the perimeter, down to the block, and she has to pick up her dribble. Works to Gary and puts up the shot, gets it to fall, and Gary will head to the free throw line to try to complete the old-fashioned three-point play. And the foul called on Casey Hansen. Her second personal, is the 16th foul. Gary had 5 points in that first quarter, now was 7 for the ball game, trying to make it 8. Completing the three-point play. It's up, and this one's off the mark, so we remain tied 15-15 as Plitzuweit will bring it into the front court. Plitzuweit into the lane, jumper, front iron off the mark, and quickly picked up by the Lady Bulldogs. They want to go quickly to break this press. They work it up now to Abby Brooks, over to the far side with Hodges. Back out, Vandenbosch, NBA 3, off the mark, rebounded by Hansen. Having ourselves a bit of a track meet now. Hansen's their free throw line, pull-up jumper, knocks it down. Casey Hansen with 7 points in the ball game, and it's back to a 2-point lead for Vermillion, 17-15, 6:07 second quarter. Nelson in the backcourt as a press is on. They get it up to Gary. It's quickly guarded by Hansen. Still Gary underneath to Brooks, wide open. She easily goes up, and Abby Brooks, 8 points in the ball game. She leads all scorers, 17-17, 5:50 second quarter. Plitzuweit quickly into the front court. Now over to Leah Herbster along that fourth corner. Back out to Jensen. She'll just shoot the 3. Knocks it down. Brooke Jensen, 6 points in the ball game, all from beyond the arc. Back to a 3-point lead for Vermillion, and quickly Nelson into the front court. Back out to Vandenbosch over the far side with Gary. Now they work it down to the low block with Hodges. Back out to Gary in the corner. She's going to drive baseline, put up a difficult shot, miss, rebounded by Leah Herbster inside the lane. Now over to Ludwig, up to Jensen, who finally gets it across the timeline to Plitzuweit, pump fakes the 3. Back to Hansen, top of the key. She'll shoot the 3, off the mark, misses everything. Ball being kicked around, and
good at defense. What did you do after that whole year?
Yeah, it still hurts right now. It was Friday when I did it.
This lead for the Vermillion Tanagers. When we look at scoring, it has been very balanced for Vermillion so far throughout this game. No one has really exploded. And in fact, the leading scorer right now is off the bench once again, Brooke Jensen with 8 points. Casey Hansen has 7 points of her own. Lexi Blitzel-White with 6. Otherwise, as I mentioned, kind of balanced from the rest of the way around. 3 points each for Lily Johnson and Mulheron, and 2 points for Leah Herbster. For the Madison Lady Bulldogs, they've had themselves kind of a less balance in scoring when it comes to Abby Brooks. She leads all scorers with 12 points. Zoe Gary has been a little bit quieter, especially in that second quarter where her only really points came just of 2, again 7 for the ball game. 2 points for Audrey Nelson, and also 2 points for Sophia Van den Bosch. Before we take another break, do want to address a little bit of an issue when it comes to our video stream. I do realize that is back up and working again. Sorry for the technical difficulties there, as again, just had a different stream click on the wrong one and got redirected, but that is up once again. The video stream is working, as again, Madison trails Vermillion at halftime, 29-23. We take another 2 minutes and we come back. Scores from around the state of South Dakota on the Saunders Chiropractic Halftime Show on ESPN 1015 AM 1570 and online at kvtk.com.
Midwest Ready Mix Equipment's Vermillion.
We rent out and operate dozers, excavators. We also have aerial equipment.
Dave Hertz, Midwest Ready Mix.
We got telehandlers, payloaders, skid loaders, just a lot of different equipment that we rent and we sell it too. And you can rent to buy. And you end up having it for 6 months. We'll give you a buyout option on that thing.
Call Dave Hertz, Midwest Ready Mix and Equipment. Vermillion. Easy to work with and not hard to find.
6 years ago, doing Facebook Live videos for a couple ball games. And little did we know, we'd have the 2020 pandemic and so many reasons for doing live streams on our new YouTube channel. We have 12 schools we cover, from Mississippi, Iowa, and right here in South Dakota. If you're interested in working with FDS as camera operator or play-by-play for the many sports we cover, or if you would like to use our services to live stream your event, email us at fullerdigitalsolutions@gmail.com.
Hi, I'm Matt Lavin. I'm the owner of Davis Pharmacy in Vermillion, South Dakota. Vermillion is becoming a very proactive community. I mean, we've seen some really good development occurring. We've got some new areas for new homes that have come up. And like I said, the number of shops that are now occupied. I mean, you drive down Main Street and Main Street is full again. It really is, because it is a very family-oriented town.
You'll discover your next opportunity when you discover the region's bridge to a better life. GreaterYanktonLiving.com.
Dr. Tom Olson is the name you have come to trust in the Vermillion area. If you are looking for a healthcare facility for those you care about most, join our healthcare family at Olson Medical Clinic. To schedule an appointment with Dr. Tom Olson, call 624-5666. After hours, call 624-8777. Today's comprehensive medicine with yesterday's personalized care at Olson Medical Clinic, 1330 East Main Street in Vermillion. Or visit Olson Medical Clinic on the web at www.olsonmedicalclinic.com.
This is the Saunders Chiropractic Halftime Show on ESPN 115 AM 1570 and online at kvtk.com. A late three-pointer right before the buzzer gives Vermillion a 6-point lead, 29-23. Before we get back into second half action, let's take a look at scores from around the state of South Dakota, and more importantly in girls action in Class A when it comes inside the DAC-12. One game that has gone final so far this evening. Elk Point Jefferson takes down Irene Wakanda 45-27. In other DAC-12 action, West Central right now leads it over Dakota Valley at the end of the third quarter, 48-30. In a game of interest that Vermillion has already seen Sioux Valley, but right now Hamlin is all over Sioux Valley as they begin the fourth quarter, 55-21. And again, looking at scores from around the state of South Dakota in Class A in boys, a big one to watch, a big matchup right now. Del Rapids leads it over Sioux Falls Christian 12-9. That is 3 minutes left in the first quarter there. Again, Vermillion boys, they are not in action until Friday evening when we're back in action with the doubleheader taking on the Lennox Orioles for both the boys and the girls. Again, that one is at home. Look forward to that one before we get into a very, very busy stretch where it's almost 2 to 3 games a week. It kind of comes on Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, or even Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, as we do get into that heart of the stretch of the season. And, of course, got to love that stretch as well. All right, the coaches meet one final time. John Brooks in the huddle with his girls on his knees, still using the clipboard as the Madison Lady Bulldogs break their huddle. Again, they're in their all-white uniforms, numbers and letters that are in maroon. Vermillion in their all-red uniforms with the numbers and letters that are in white with the white shoulder pads. This time, it will be the Madison Lady Bulldogs to start the second half. They'll be moving from right to left, Vermillion left to right. And this wraps up the Saunders Chiropractic Halftime Show on ESPN 1015 AM 1570 and online at kvtk.com. Big thanks to Andy Matson back in the studios and Suki Ford running the video stream tonight, which again is up and working. Had a little bit of a confusion, but everything is good to go with the video stream. Again, we are back underway to begin the third quarter as a quick double team goes against Vandenbosch as she has it along the far wing, works it back to Gary, now at the elbow. Gary picks up her dribble, back over to Vandenbosch. In the corner, she shoots the three, back iron off the mark. Loose basketball is going to be rebounded by Madison for their fifth offensive rebound of the basketball game, and they'll reset the offense, trying to make a pass, but it's going to be stolen away by Lexi Plitzowhite. Quickly up to Leah Herbster, takes her time, and greatly lays it off the glass for an easy two. Leah Herbster, and Vermillion extends their lead even more, now by 8, 31-23, 7:15, third quarter. At the top of the key, Vandenbosch quickly over to Gary, pulls up with the three, another one that's off the mark for Zoe Gary, rebounded by Leah Herbster, who's been busy quickly in this first minute to begin the third quarter. Casey Hansen now at the left-handed dribble, kicks over to Lexi Plitzowhite, back to Cleveland, she'll square up, she'll shoot the three off the mark, and falls into the hands of Emmy Clark right next to the hoop. Now over to Vandenbosch in the backcourt. Have to break that press. Still Vandenbosch. She's double-teamed. She hasn't quite got it across the timeline and won't do so in time. Will not be able to do so. And it's the second time the Madison Lady Bulldogs get themselves in trouble of not getting across the timeline in 10 seconds. So great defensive stand by Vermillion, trying to add to their 8-point lead. 31-23, 6:43 third quarter. It's Plitzowhite who tries to make a pass but has it slip through her fingertips. But Leah Herbster is going to dive to the ground trying to get it back, but instead is going to be called for a foul. Leah picks up her second personal in the first team foul. 31-23, 6:40 third quarter. It'll be Van den Bosch, makes a pass over to Gary as they get it across the timeline. Now over to Emmy Clark, who thought for a moment about shooting the three. Now over to Hodges. Hodges back to the top of Van den Bosch, holding above her head as Herbster crashes in. Back over to Hodges. She shoots the jumper and gets it to fall. Juliana Hodges, her first 2 points of the ball game. And back down to a 6-point lead for Vermillion, 31-25. Hansen along the free throw line extended. Puts down the left-handed dribble. Now over to Leah Herbster. Herbster doesn't want to be beyond the three-point line. Never shoots the three. Back over to Plitzowite, to Ludwig, to Hansen. Hansen, drive baseline, finds no room and gets cut off quickly. Picks up her dribble. She's double-teamed and is going to be jump ball. Gary was all over her, but a jump ball is going to be called instead, as now Hansen's going to have to fix her ponytail a little bit. We'll do so, and we're back in action. It's Plitzowite who chucks it deep to Cleveland. Back to Plitzowite at the free throw line, and Plitzowite is able to get a step over on Gary and draw the foul. Zoe Gary will pick up her second personal and the first team foul. Both teams picked up a lot of fouls in the first quarter, but stayed pretty quiet in the second. Plitzowite gets it into Ludwig. Ludwig tries to use some screens, but nothing really doing so. She's able to dribble her way out of trouble. Kick it over to Leah Herbster. Now Herbster lays down the screen. Plitzowite the three, knocks it down. Lexi Plitzowite continues to have herself a great ball game. 9 points for her, 34-25. It matches the biggest lead for Vermillion by 9. Van den Bosch finally breaks the press along the baseline. Still Van den Bosch underneath the hoop. Now is triple team trying to make a pass. It's going to go off the shoe of Hansen. She'll pick up the loose basketball all the way up to Plitzowite. Plitzowite gets a little bit of space. Jumper. Plitzowite. 5 straight points for her. Vermillion up by 11 now. 36-25. 5:03 third quarter. A pass that's going to be tipped in the air by Leah Herbster. Hansen gets punched in the face from Juliana Hodges trying to fight for the basketball. Hodges picks up her third personal, and will she come out? She will. As again, Hodges picks up her third personal and the second team foul. And now head coach Kenninger wants a timeout. She wants a full. We'll take a 30-second Culligan water break with her. You're listening to Tanager Basketball presented by First Dakota National Bank on ESPN 101.5 AM 1570 and online at kvtk.com.
Make space for tall items. Quickly and easily move the bins side to side for convenient storage options. The FlexiSlide Bin, brought to you by Whirlpool.
Find out about all the benefits of becoming a member owner today by visiting Vermillion Federal CUA.
Vermillion with their biggest lead, 36-25. 3 minutes into this third quarter. You're listening to Tanager Basketball presented by First Dakota National Bank. Vermillion begins this third quarter on a 7-2 run. Again, they build that now by 11 points. Lexi Plitzowite with the 11 points, the first Tanager to hit double figures, as she does so with 5 straight points for Vermillion, and she has it right now in the front court with the right-handed dribble. It's over to Casey Hansen, back out to Herbster, and now work it to Cleveland as Vermillion just working around the perimeter with 20 seconds on the shot clock. Bounce pass underneath to Leah Herbster, back out to Cleveland. She'll shoot the jumper off the mark, and Abby Brooks comes up with the rebound right over the tall arms of Leah Herbster. Battling underneath all night. Now up to Gary at the elbow. Gary tries to make a pass, and it's going to be knocked away from her, and on the ground, Hansen is able to dive after it. All the way up to a pass to Lexi Plitzowite. She almost loses it in the paint. Back out to Ludwig, over to Hansen. Hansen the jumper. This one misses everything, but Leah Herbster there to recover. Back out to a wide open Ludwig. She shoots the three. She doesn't miss when she's that wide open. Shandy Ludwig, her first points of the evening. And Cleveland, the only Tanager starter not to score, as it's now up by 14, 39-25. 4:04 third quarter. It'll be the Bulldogs who have it with Nelson. Nelson quickly a hop and then a pass that goes
off the fingertips of Leah Herbster and into the hands of Plitzowite. It's Plitzowite pass to Herbster. Herbster goes up and gets fouled, and she'll head to the free throw line. It's the third team foul on the Madison Lady Bulldogs. Again, Leah Herbster will shoot a pair. The foul comes against Abby Brooks, her second personal. Again, Vermillion has just opened this one up here big in the third quarter. First free throw is off the mark, though. They have outscored Madison at 10-2 as we are just past the halfway point in the third quarter. Second free throw upcoming from Leah Herbster, and this one off the mark as Vermillion has struggled from the free throw line this evening. Now 2 of 7. It's going to be in the front court trying to split a double team, and a foul called as Vandenbosch tried to split between Herbster and Hansen is going to be the one that is charged with the foul, picking up her third personal and the second team foul. Nelson looking for someone, gets it to Gary, back to Nelson. Nelson quickly covered up, though, by Hansen. Back out. Gary, far three, back iron, off the mark. Loose basketball is going to be chased down, though, by Emmy Clark for the Bulldogs. Trying to make a pass to Gary. It's going to be popped up in the air, but somehow Gary comes down with it over to Emmy Clark. 27 seconds on the shot clock. Back out to Nelson. She'll shoot the three, back iron, off the mark. And another, foul called. Almost another offensive rebound for Nelson, who missed the three. But instead, Leah Herbster is going to trip up Nelson, and Herbster will pick up her third personal, and the third team foul, as now we'll see the hockey change. Jensen, Johnson, Regneris, and Mulherrin all in. Cleveland, Hansen, Herbster, and Ludwig all out. Lexi Plitzowite will be the only remaining starter. 39-25, 3:21 third quarter. We'll see if this second team can get after it. Now Gary in the lane, trying to get a little bit of separation. Last second pass underneath to Brooks. What a great assist this time from Gary. And Brooks continues a great ball game. 14 points for her, 39-27. But still a 12-point lead for the Vermillion Tangers. It's Johnson to the top with Regneris. Now over to Jensen. Jensen does have 8 points in the ball game. In fact, everyone on the court has scored except for Regneris. Plitzowite has it, carries it to the free throw line, back out to Jensen, and now a foul called as taking the charge inside the lane was Hodges, and the foul called on Lexi Plitzowite, taking her second personal foul and the fourth team. Vandenbosch will come back in after pulling up the knee pad. Coming off will be Caitlin Sewell. Here come the Lady Bulldogs with Gary in the backcourt. Gets it up to Nelson as Nelson gets it across the timeline. Underneath the hoop, but she's going to go up with her shot. Has it deflected. Somehow falls into the hands of Abby Brooks. And Abby Brooks, the easiest separation. And 16 points for her now. 39-29 as, again, Madison finds themselves on a 4-0 run. Along the baseline, it's quickly up with Mulherrin. She's fouled and will head to the free throw line. The foul comes against Nelson, her third personal, and the fourth team foul. And again, Mulherrin will head to the free throw line, where Vermillion has struggled 2 of 8 this evening. First one is up and good. And Kenzie Mulherrin, now 4 points for her in the ball game. First points since the first quarter, where she hit a three-pointer. Second free throw, makes them both, give her 5 for the ball game. 41-29, 2:27 third quarter, as we'll see a substitution. Nelson will come out, and Macy Teedy, the 5'4" sophomore guard, will come in for the first time this evening. Speaking of, she has it now back to Vandenbosch, to Gary. They still need to get across the 10-second line. Finally will do so with Vandenbosch. Now she's double-teamed. Jensen and Plitzowite there to tie it up. And possession will stay, I believe, with Madison. Yes. 41-29, 2:18 third quarter. So after the tie-up, 27 seconds on the shot clock. The Bulldogs still have it. Get it into Gary, who has struggled this evening. Vermillion knew they needed to shut her down, and Gary almost has it knocked away, has to go chase after it, able to do so and make a pass over to Emmy Clark. And now working at TD, but it's going to be stolen away by Lily Johnson. And here comes Vermillion. It's Plitzowite on the breakaway. Now bounce pass to Mulherrin. Mulherrin up with her shot, gets it blocked away from her, but gets back the rebound. Now to Regneris, to Johnson. Back out to Plitzowite. Plitzowite, the drive, off the glass strong, and gets it to fall. Lexi Plitzowite, 7 points in this third quarter. 14-point lead for Vermillion, 43-29. Now a pass is going to be tipped in. A couple of girls dive to the ground, and a foul called. A foul called against the Madison Lady Bulldogs, and it will go against Macy Teedy. And now Ludwig will come back as Lexi Blitzowite will check out for the first time in this second half. What a great third quarter that Lexi Blitzowite has had. 7 points for her, 13 for the ball game. Ludwig, the only starter right now on the court for Vermillion. Over to Mulherron. Back to the top, they work it with Lily Johnson holding above her head. Now to Jensen. Jensen looking for some type of offense. Back to Mulherron, 17 seconds on the shot clock. Vermillion now working it. Down to the low block with Jensen. Back to the top. Jumper from Jensen, and this one is going to be knocked down. Brooke Jensen from the free throw line, and she'll hit double figures with 10 points. 45-29, 105, third quarter. And now a pass. It's going to go through the hands of T.D. Mulherron. Tries to save it. Can't throw it off of T.D. in time, and will go out of bounds. Last touch by Vermillion. So, Lady Bulldogs along the baseline. Vandenbosch into Brooks. Work it around all the way to the far wing. Back with Vandenbosch. 20 seconds. Pull-up jumper from Vandenbosch off the mark. And a rebound goes to probably one of the smallest girls, if not the smallest on the court, Shandy Ludwig. Shandy Ludwig goes end-to-end and will now finally make the pass back out to Johnson. She shoots the three. Lily Johnson, 6 points for her in the ball game. 48-29, a big 19-point lead for the Vermillion Tanagers. Still in the backcourt, Vandenbosch tries to make a pass, but it's going to be deflected by Jensen. Falls in the hands of Regnerus. Back out to Johnson. Johnson over to Regnerus, over to Ludwig. Pump fakes the three to Johnson in the corner. Vermillion can hold for the last second shot if they want to, and Shandy Ludwig now sees that and will dribble it back to the top of the Madison logo. We'll chase it all the way over into the far corner towards the top of the timeline. Still Ludwig will now go drive for the elbow. Put up her jumper off the mark. Rebound by Johnson. She quickly throws one back up. Misses everything, but there is Mulherron. Back out to Regnerus. To Brooke Jensen, free throw line. She puts up the jumper, misses, and that will end the third quarter as Vermillion is able to outscore Madison in that third, 19-6, and they have the lead, 48-29. You're listening to Vermillion basketball presented by First Dakota National Bank on ESPN. We're back in 60 seconds with the final frame.
Pump up your car, coolers, and tummy with Pump and Pack in Vermillion. Whether you're coming or going, we are here for you when you need us, with what you need. Grocery items, beer, snacks, fuel, wine, hot dogs, pizza by the slice, and now for real ice cream smoothies and shakes, cookie dough, strawberry banana, and even mocha latte. We are open when you need us 24 hours a day with what you need at Pump and Pack on West Cherry Street in Vermillion.
More and contact Dave's Roofing today at 712.
Vermillion Medical Clinic has an ongoing mission to provide areas with quality health care and convenient access to medical professionals. Our patients at Vermillion Medical Clinic value our dedicated primary care physicians, compassionate PAs, and consistently scheduled outreach specialty care. If you have health questions, need a screening, or have medical concerns for yourself or family members, call us for an appointment or visit VermillionMedicalClinic.com. So much care, so close to home.
Vermillion a big third quarter, and they have blowing the doors open as we begin the fourth and final frame. They lead it 48-29 as Alexi Blitzowite will bring it into the front court. As again, Vermillion has all their starters back on the court. It's Hansen trying to make a pass. It's going to be stolen away by Nelson. Nelson up with the shot. Can't get the fall, but Hansen goes straight up and somehow draws the foul. Casey Hansen picking up her fourth personal. And again, it will send Nelson to the free throw line on the shooting foul. It is the 15th foul called against the Vermillion Tanagers. Nelson misses the free throw. Next action coming up for both Vermillion boys and girls is on Friday, the big rival game against the Lenox Orioles. That one's at home. Second free throw is missed by Nelson, but somehow it's tipped back to her, and is going to get her own rebound, then travels with it, and it's another turnover. It has been struggling, the Madison Lady Bulldogs, with turnovers so far in the ball game. In fact, that is their 19th turnover compared to just 7 of Vermillion. Speaking of the Tanagers, they have it in the front court. The top of the key with Ludwig over to Cleveland to Leah Herbster. Last break, by the way, it was Johnson who came in for Hansen, who picked up her 4th personal foul. Cleveland back over to Leah Herbster in the near corner. 14 seconds on the shot clock. Now a three-pointer from Lexi Plitzowite. Back iron, but it's going to be a rebound by Ludwig. Back to Plitzowite in the lane, and Plitzowite will score in every single quarter as she's had herself a monstrous second half, as Lexi Plitzowite now has 15 points in the ball game, 50-29. Nelson, a quick jumper the opposite way, misses everything. Ball just knocked around a little bit like a pinball and somehow falls back for the Lady Bulldogs. Missed shot by Emmy Clark, and here comes Vermillion. Lily Johnson quickly the other way. Lily Johnson skips right by Gary, tries to hand it off to Herbster, but Herbster loses it, and a travel is going to be called, and that will be a turnover on the Madison Lady Bulldogs. It was with a travel on the ground. So Vermillion will get it right back. 6:45, fourth quarter, 50-29. Plitzowite along the baseline, looking for somebody. Will chuck it deep now to Lily Johnson. Johnson holds it above her head. Now will drive inside the lane. Back out to Leah Herbster. To Lily Johnson to Cleveland, wide open as a couple girls fall to the ground as Lexi Plitzowite gets up slowly. She's one of the ones that went hard to the hardwood. Missed shot, by the way, and now Leah Herbster falls down in the back court. As the Madison Lady Bulldogs have an advantage, as Leah Herbster still hasn't gotten herself in the front court. Missed shot off the front of the iron. It's going to be Vandenbosch who would shoot the three. This one off the mark and battling for the rebound, and a foul called against Hodges as she picks up her 4th foul, and it is the 15th foul on the Lady Bulldogs. Or excuse me, no, they're going to call that instead on Vermillion. And it will be a foul that is called against Lexi Plitzowite instead. So Plitzowite will pick up her 3rd personal instead. And again, the 16th foul. And now John Brooks is like, what do you mean? He wants a conversation. He disagrees with it. Not going to put up too much of a fight. He does have himself a pretty comfortable lead as Vermillion leads it 50-29. It's into Nelson at the low block. She tries to body up Plitzowite. Now make the pass to Brooks, and Brooks gets it to fall. 18 points for her in the ball game, and she has scored in all quarters. Plitzowite now will go into the front court. Now over to Jensen along the free throw line, extended to Lily Johnson on the near side, right in front of the Vermillion bench. Back out to Cleveland. She'll shoot the three off the mark, and a rebound, though, by Plitzowite, trying to make the pass back to Cleveland, but it's going to be tipped in the air and falls into the hands of Madison. Vandenbosch quickly up to Brooks, now trying to make a pass in the lane to really nobody. Plitzowite is able to sniff it out, and as she grabs it, she's going to get hit in the face, and a foul called. The foul will be called against Hodges, who will now pick up her 4th personal foul, the 6th team foul. 5:40 4th quarter, 50-31. It's a 19-point lead for the Vermillion Tanagers. Right now, if they can hold on, we'll move to 6-2 on the season. Great start for Vermillion, as the schedule is only going to get tougher, and of course going to seem like longer with more and more games getting stacked on. And now trying to drive the Tanagers, and a foul call that will go against Vandenbosch. It's the 17th foul, so it'll put Vermillion into bonus and shooting free throws the rest of this one. Again, the foul called on Vandenbosch, which is her 2nd personal. First free throw is off the mark on the 1-and-1 for Lily Johnson, and Vandenbosch will get the rebound, and now trying to tie it up inside the lane will be Plitzowite, possession arrow. Oh, no, I'm sorry, they'll call the foul instead on Plitzowite. Plitzowite picking up now her 4th personal and the 17th foul, so we have bonus the rest of the way. And now Lexi Plitzowite will come out of the game, shooting 6 of 11 from the field, 1 of 2 from beyond the 3-point line. 4 rebounds for her and 15 points. We'll see if that might be her final action. First free throw for Vandenbosch, makes it. 3 points for her in the ball game. Trying to look for number 4. Again, 18-point lead for Vermillion, 50-32. Second free throw off the mark, rebounded by Cleveland. Cleveland over to Lily Johnson. Johnson has gotten some extended playing time. Great to see from Lily Johnson, the senior who did start at the beginning of this season, but has found herself a little bit on the bench. But as head coach John Brooks mentions, it doesn't really matter who starts and who doesn't. And that is true for Vermillion, as we see so many different girls come in and out. In fact, really 9 in the rotation that John Brooks looks to. 50-32, 4:53, fourth quarter, Vermillion has in the front court with Ludwig at the top of the key. Pump fakes the three, gets a little bit of separation, jumper, and Shandy Ludwig, 5 points for her in the ball game, 52-32. Now pass up to Brooks. It's almost going to be stolen away, and now will be, but it's going to be stolen right back from Ludwig by Zoe Gary. Gary up to Hodges, now to Nelson at the free throw line. Passing the lane to Brooks, to Gary. Gary turnaround jumper, this one off the mark, and rebounded by Shandy Ludwig, pulling down her third rebound of the basketball game. Quickly up to Jensen. Jensen drives in, kicks back over to Cleveland. To the top to Regneris. Regneris trying to get a little bit of separation. He's having a tough time, and now head coach John Brooks, once the Culligan water break, will take one with them. It's a full one. We're back in 60 seconds. You're listening to Tanager Basketball on ESPN 1015 AM 1570.
Clay County Abstract and Title Company has a complex job that boils down to something very simple: helping you purchase your dream with confidence. When investing in a new home, a new site for your business, or piece of property, you want peace of mind that the property is truly yours. Clay County Abstract and Title Company has been doing just that since 1946. Clay County Abstract and Title Company, proud supporters of Vermillion activities and proud to be a part of your dreams come true.
Of customer service in our store, helping my customers with our free interior design service is still my favorite part of my job. Not all customers feel confident designing their own room. Whether you need help measuring, matching up with new paint or carpet, or have remodeled or built new, we are here to help you understand how to arrange and purchase for your room. Enjoy free design service at the Yankton Slumberland, 2401 Broadway. It's a good life.
52-32. Vermillion a 20-point lead, 4:12 remaining in this final frame. They have it in the front court with Regneris handed off to Shandy Ludwig. And speaking of Ludwig, her and Chandler Cleveland, the only two stars right now on the court for the Vermillion Tanagers. But again, Vermillion goes so deep in their bench, they can go, and really doesn't matter, as I said earlier, it doesn't matter who starts. They just have talent all around. Gary has the top of the key. She'll shoot the three. Finally, a big three-pointer from Zoe Gary. It's her first points of this second half, as Vermillion has kept her so quiet, and with that, does get her to double figures with 10 points. Ludwig has it in the near corner. So Vermillion will work it around the perimeter, and time to work off that clock and get out of here with a big victory, moving to 6-2 on their season before they have Lenox coming up on Friday. Lenox looks a lot different from a year ago. A lot of seniors that have lost. Cleveland turnaround floater in the lane. This one off the mark, battling along the baseline. It will go out of bounds. Great job by Cleveland, who missed the shot, but to continue to battle it back. It's last touch by the Lady Bulldogs, and they'll get it right back. So Vermillion will get it into Cleveland. Cleveland, their turnaround this time, will get it to fall. Chandler Cleveland, the final Vermillion starter to score, 54-35, 3:05 fourth quarter. At the block, near side, jumper the opposite way for the Lady Bulldogs. This one off the mark and rebounded by Vermillion. Ludwig will get it across the timeline. Vermillion will make their final substitutions at the next dead ball. And now it's Cleveland once again. And Cleveland, 4 straight points for her. She got some space at the low block and just easily threw it off the glass. 56-35, 21-point lead. Trying to get it into the lane is Vandenbosch. Really nothing working. Now gets it back out to Gary, and Gary will find her way into the lane and laid off the glass. 5 points for her in this fourth quarter. 56-37, 2:26 fourth quarter. Johnson holds a belt high over to Regneris. Now to Jensen. She'll shoot the three, back iron, off the mark. Will go right into the hands of Hodges. Quickly underneath the hoop, it's Brooks, and she was wide open. And Abby Brooks leading all scorers tonight. 4 points in this fourth quarter. And now a timeout is going to be called by head coach John Brooks. And looks like he wants a 30-second Culligan water break. We'll keep it right here on ESPN 1015 AM 1570. Big thanks to Culligan as well, always sponsoring the timeout breaks. Vermillion leads at 56-39. Now, Madison has outscored Vermillion in this fourth quarter, 10-8, but again, a big third quarter by Vermillion, where they outscored the Lady Bulldogs 19-6. And it's been a very quiet fourth quarter. She spent most of her time with 2 quick fouls to begin this fourth quarter. I'm talking about Lexi Plitzwhite. She leads all Vermillion scorers with 15 points. The other one that hit double figures this evening is Brooke Jensen, but a couple others are right there. On the opposite side, as I mentioned, Abby Brooks, 20 points for the Madison Lady Bulldogs. That's just over half of the points for Madison as they struggle. They have not really gotten over this hump of 40 points this season. They've only done it twice, and they're still trying to get to that point tonight. Three-pointer off the glass is going to be off the mark for Lily Johnson and rebounded by the Lady Bulldogs. Now a pass by Nelson is going to be knocked up in the air and comes down with Vermillion. This one back out to Casey Hansen. Casey Hansen loses her dribble, and it's going to be controlled back with the Bulldogs. Again, 2 stars right now on the court for Vermillion, as they don't want to do that, but again, the bench is just so deep. Emily Clark, free throw line extended. Pump fakes the 3, now get to Nelson. She shoots the long 2 with the foot on the line, but rebounded by Abby Brooks. She goes right back up with it, misses. No one boxes her out, gets it right back, and this time will score. Abby Brooks has put up 6 points in every quarter except for the third quarter, where she put up 4. 56-41, now under 60 seconds remaining in the ball game. Mulherron wide open 3, just off the mark, rebounded by Gary. It will be given to Nelson. Nelson works it to Brooks, back to the top, wide open Gary. She'll shoot the quick 3, knocking it down. Zoe Gary left wide open, 8 points for her in this fourth quarter. Padding the stats now. It is down 12-point lead, 56-44, 36 seconds remaining, and now a travel in the lane. So Madison is going to make this one look a little bit closer in the end than maybe what it really was, as the 2 leading scorers, Abby Brooks and Zoe Gary, will come out, as we'll get a couple of final substitutions for the Madison Lady Bulldogs. Carly Laurels and also Macy Teedy will check in. It's controlled by Nelson in the far corner. Work at the top to Clark at the free throw line. Pass underneath, and this one up and good for Laurels as she gets her first 2 points. 56-46, back to just a 10-point lead, as Casey Hansen will bring it across the Bulldog logo, and with that, it will send Vermillion to 6-2 on their season, as Madison will drop now to 3-4. Coming up exclusively on ESPN 101.5 AM 1570 and online at kvtk.com. It's our conversation with head coach John Brooks. So again, if you're on the video stream, carry it over to ESPN 101.5 AM 1570 and online at kvtk.com. We'll have the full game statistics, our conversation with John Brooks, and scores from around the state of South Dakota. That all comes up in 2 minutes here on ESPN 101.5 AM 1570 and online at kvtk.com.